Our church has always existed as a multi-generational church, facing forward, honoring our heritage, and inviting the future. 75 years ago this August, 200 people worshiped God in the school building we know as Alma Esom Elementary School. When you see a picture from that day, you see generations. That was 75 years ago when our church was planted. Close to 50 years ago, our church first presented Fayetteville with a singing Christmas tree. And again, when we come to that unique worship service, year after year, we see generation upon generation. 25 years ago, this June, our church began a modern worship experience, again facing forward to the next generation. Now we come to another 25-year mark in our history. It is our time to honor our heritage and invite the future. And the only viable way to honor our heritage as a multi-generational church is to invite the next generation. At the core of each move, roughly every 25 years, has been the next generation. 75 years ago, a new church was born. 46 years ago, a cutting-edge Christmas program was created. And 25 years ago, a new way to worship God was launched.
We've loved this place ever since the first day we ever walked in. I grew up in this church. I was 10 years old, I think, when my family joined here. And then Wayne would visit as a teenager sometimes.
And we were married here in 1965. We love this church. We love the people in this church. This church has been so good to us.
It's just been a journey of absolute joy for us being a part of Snyder.
Currently, our church is growing and its momentum is increasing, and it should be, because the people who started this church, began the tree, and launched a modern worship service were not thinking about themselves. They were thinking about others in this world, knowing Jesus in this place and in their time. Jesus gave all his followers a commission to go and make disciples of all the world, baptizing them and teaching them to obey all he commanded. That is the Great Commission, and that is the commission that we have been given, and it's at the core and start of our church. As deep and more profound than our commitment to all generations present and coming is our engagement in Jesus' commission. The first sermon ever preached in the first sanctuary of Snyder was entitled, "This Church and the World." Over 7.5 decades of our existence, the people of Snyder have sent people, teams, and millions of dollars around the world to reach the world with the good news of Jesus, to fulfill Jesus' great commission. Generation upon generation, this has been our heritage, passion, and future. Our address in Fayetteville is 701 Westmont Drive. This is the geographical location from which we fulfill the Great Commission. Over our 7.5 decades, our campus at this address has grown, been well used and well loved. Pushed by a stewardship to do more and more around the world, we have extended the life of each corner in this beautiful building and its grounds. Nevertheless, our campus now needs more excellence to match the greatness of the commission Jesus has given us. Its condition doesn't match the passion we have for his commission, this world, and the generations living in our community.
Certainly, as we've embarked on this generation's initiative, honoring the past and what was given to this church, and as we've come to the church and grown in this church, we've certainly been blessed by what was here for us. I think the opportunity to have this facility match that sweet, sweet spirit. And then I think the opportunity to see what is already an extraordinary youth and kids programs expanded on, and the opportunity to see that grow, not only my children, but other children flourish in their walk with Jesus. I think that, to me, is important, and I look forward to that. I look forward to be a part of that.
It's time for us to do for the next generation what the last generation did for this generation. Our children need a dedicated space for their intentional Sunday morning environments and Sunday evening environments. Our students need environments conducive to youth worship, relationship building, relevant Bible study, discipleship, and recreation. Our classic worship space, the sanctuary, it needs to be restored in a manner that speaks clearly to the glory of the God that we worship there, and it has to be made more handicap accessible. Our fellowship hall could be and should be a prime example of a modern worship space and premier meeting space available for meals, large children's events like Vacation Bible School, and student Sunday evening events. Our fellowship hall in the course of a week is used more than any other space and by more of our members, attenders, and guests than any other area on our campus. Our hallways should communicate to each person who walks in this building that we believe the aim of this building and the people in this building to be key to fulfilling our purpose as a church. Walls tell stories, even blank ones, nicely painted ones and clean ones. Walls actually do speak. They speak of the value that we place on the purpose of a place and the people in the place. The excellence of our walls should match the greatness of our commission. Our restrooms should speak to the fact that we anticipated your presence, that we're glad you're here. Even the excellence of a restroom could and should match the greatness of the commission that we've been given by Jesus. With each generation, there comes a point of challenge that is more about what is next than what is now. It's more about the next generation, who they will be, and what they will become. We cannot control the world they will inhabit. We cannot manage their choices. What we can do is set an example for them. That's what was done for us, right? In the Generations Initiative, we are saying, let's do for the next generation what the last generation did for this generation. Will you join me in doing 3 things? Seek to grow spiritually as we individually run hard after Jesus, and pass generosity on as a spiritual discipline from Jesus, who taught us it was more blessed to give than receive. Invite the future now as we honor the past. We've been given a trust called Snyder, handed down to us from 1949 out of an elementary school around the corner. We have been given a commission called Great, handed down to us from the 1st century out of the mouth of Jesus. May we do for the next generation what the last generation and those before them have done for us.